Hello. Welcome back to the Beauty Biz Mentor podcast. I am Stacy Lynn. I am your host, and I am a stylist of 23 plus years, owning and operating 5 salons over the last 23 years. And I am here to tell you the do's and the don'ts, the things that I've learned, the things that work, the things that don't work, and share my story along the way. So, welcome back to I think we're on episode 6, which is exciting. We're almost to double digits. Okay, we're almost there. So today I'm actually going to talk to you guys about crushing cancellations. Cancellations is one of the biggest ways that we lose out on revenue. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. When people cancel last minute. And so one of the things that I want to talk to you about today is how to crush cancellations, and how to get that revenue back into your pocket, how to take and prevent it, how to take the power back as the business owner and make sure that you are not allowing cancellations and last minute changes in your business. So what we know is that cancellations is actually the number 3 biggest expense for us in the beauty industry. So with rent being number 1, operating expenses being number 2, cancellations is what is actually going to be your number 3 expense. Because if you take 1 to 2 no-shows or 1 to 2 cancellations a week and you are adding that up over the year, you guys, that is a huge expense to your business. Okay, so we need to work on canceling those late cancellations, making sure that people do not no-show us, and how to take that power back. So I'm going to go over some things with you. I do have, as I go through this, if you guys have any questions, please put it in the chat for me. If you're listening to the podcast, because this is live, you can either be watching it on Facebook, YouTube, or listening to it on Spotify. If you are in a place where you can make comments, please comment that you want any of this information, because I do have scripts for you. I have sample things that we're going to talk about. I have samples of like different policies that you can put in place. But the 3 things that are really important that we're going to talk about is how to, 1, make sure that you know how to prevent it, how to take the power back, and how to implement the things that you need to do to make sure that you're not having cancellations going forward. So we know as beauty industry professionals, so I do refer to, you guys will notice a lot, I refer to stylists. However, this goes for anything in the beauty anything in the beauty industry, whether you're a tattoo artist, a makeup artist, a massage therapist, a nail tech, whatever it might be, this is relevant to you because you are a service provider. Okay. So we want to know who we want to work with and when we need to work. We don't want to be messing around with clients that are not happy to pay us. We want to work with our ideal clients. So I'm going to give you a checklist and a guide of how to make sure that you are going through and finding all of the things that you need in your relationships with your clients, to find the ones that are here to serve us and that we're to serve them. Okay. So first of all, you want to make sure that there's 3 phases of creating your revenue. And the first one is going to be working with your ideal clients. Okay. You want to find the clients that are ideal for you. Clarify who and what type of client you want. Okay. And to do that, you need to make sure that this is somebody, don't put somebody in your chair that you are not comfortable with, that has already given you red flags. So that's your first, prevent it. Okay. You can prevent this by somebody saying that you're marketing to your ideal clients, and then somebody's coming to you and they're not an ideal client. Don't book them. Okay. It's that simple. And then who and what does that ideal client look like? Like if you want to break down what an ideal client looks like for you, think about who you want in your chair. We've talked about this before in previous episodes. We've talked about how to create that ideal client and how to get them into your chair. So making sure that you are putting only people in your chair. So preventing it can be very simple if you just look at your ideal client and who you want to have in your chair. Okay, the second one is going to be policies. And here is where you're going to work on preparing. Okay, you have to prepare yourself. And a lot of times people will be like, well, Stacey, I've already been doing this for so many years. How do I do it now? Every new client you get in your chair, or every new client that comes through your door, you now want to make sure that you are preparing yourself for this, okay? And that you are putting in a cancellation policy. You want to make sure that you keep it very simple, very clear, and very straightforward. And then you want to make sure that you're posting it everywhere. And you need to have the different types of policies. Okay. You need to have a no-show policy. You need to have a late cancellation. I mean, no-show is very easy, right? Like you don't show up, you are going to be charged whatever. No-show is very, very simple. And then you have late cancellation policies. Okay. Somebody cancels within 24 hours, same day, things like that. And then another one that we want to make sure that we're incorporating into our policies is late changes. Okay. And you might not quite understand what I mean when I say late changes. What this means, you guys, is that somebody has an appointment with you and they come into the door. So let's say they're scheduled for a facial, a wax, and a massage. Okay. 3 services that they're booked for, but they get in. Okay. They're not late. They show up on time. They're here for their service, but they sit down and they say, oh, you know what? I don't really have time today to do the wax and the facial. Can we just do my massage? Okay. You are expecting, same thing goes with manicures, pedicures. Somebody comes in, they have nails and toes scheduled. And then now all of a sudden they're like, I don't really have time for that. Same thing for hair. They have cut and color scheduled. And they're like, you know what? I'm in a hurry today. I'm on time. Okay. But I'm in a hurry today and I don't have time to do my color. Can we just do the cut? So those are considered late changes. Late changes are just as costly to us as a service provider, okay, as a no-show, because now we were expecting the revenue from 2 to 3 of these services, and now we're only getting 1. So making sure that you have a policy in place for late changes, okay? You have to include what you're going to charge and when you're going to charge them in these policies. These policies have to be very clear and very concise. And like I said, excuse me, I do have examples of these. I have scripts for these. I have, examples of what these different policies could look like for you. If you want a copy of them, just drop sample in the chat for me. If you're watching me live on Facebook or if you're watching the YouTube, if you are listening to the show notes, make sure you go over to Facebook and follow me, or on Instagram, which is the Beauty Biz Mentor. And you can send me a message directly that says, hey, Stacy, give me an example. Give me a copy of your sample policy cancellations, and I will make sure I get that over to you. But you guys have to make sure that you are very clear in what you're going to charge and when you're going to charge it. So if you no-show, I'm going to charge you full amount. If you are a late cancellation or you have late changes, make sure that those things are dedicated into your policy and very clear. And then you can also have, you guys, so if you have a web page, this is something that you should have very, very clear in your webpage, is that you have a cancellation policy, because you want to make sure that this is blasted out everywhere. It's on your receipts. It's on your webpage. It's when you make an appointment, just so you know, here's my cancellation policy. You have to make sure that you are letting people know, so that then that way they cannot say, oh, I didn't know you had one. Well, yeah, you did, because you got it when you booked. You got it when you looked at my website. You got it the last time you were here and it was on your receipt. You have to just make sure that you are putting links to your cancellation policies literally everywhere and blasting it out. So that is another way that you can prepare to make sure that they understand that canceling, late changes, no shows are not okay. All right. And then you can also, like, if you really want to, I do suggest maybe putting even in a space that says, in your links, okay, this is in the links to where you are putting it onto your webpage, all the things. At the very bottom, you can put a space that says how to appeal. Some people might want to appeal your cancellation policy. And when you give them that option to say, if you feel the need to appeal, because I'm going to show you how to take the power back here in a minute. If you feel the need to appeal, please send your information plus this also, I have another script for this, you guys. So all you have to do is just drop it in the chat and I will make sure that you get copies of these. But you can put in there the information. Okay. Just write in the information. Just going to just give you a clear example. Appeal. If we charge you for an appointment that you didn't attend, arrived late for, canceled or amended within 24 hours, and you feel treated unfairly, please let us know. Please email cancellations at your website, whatever it is. Okay. that you could not attend or ask for changes to be made. Appeals will be reviewed. Here's the important part, that you include that they will be reviewed by the manager or the owner, and we will get back to you within 24 hours, 48 hours. Give yourself time, okay, to be able to actually look at it, process it, get the information, and then get back to them. That's something that you could put at the end of all of your cancellation policies as well, because then that's giving them the opportunity to say, hey, I couldn't make it because of this. But the next thing we're going to talk about is really going to make them not want to even think about that, because you as a person are going to take the power back. All right. You as a person are going to start taking responsibility. And this is where I say, when people come to me and they're like, Stacey, but I've been doing hair for 20 years. How do I do this now? I've never done this. Well, you're going to have new clients. You can either, one, make a broadcast to all of your clients, like, I'm implementing a new policy and it is blah, 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 blah. Or you can, going forward, every new client that you have, you now set the stage for them. This is my cancellation policy, and you hold to it. So one of the ways you can take the power back is, one, when they book an appointment, and I do encourage this every single day, every single person, I encourage that you either take part payment or you get payment in full. Okay? Because if you go to book a person and they are not willing, they're a new client and they are not willing to either make a deposit or pay in full, then they're also kind of saying, well, I might make the appointment, but just in case, I don't really want to pay in full today. Okay, they're going to pay you either the day of or the day you book it. You're going to get paid. Okay, so if they're not willing to pay a $50 deposit on a haircut or a $100 deposit on cut and color service, or a $50 to $25 deposit on manicure, whatever it is that you want to charge, if they are not willing to pay that up front, then they're also telling you, I might not make the appointment, Stacey. I might not make it. Okay. That's not my ideal client that I want to work with. Okay. So those are the things you need to think about. And then either decide, is it everything all the time, or is it certain services? So in my salons, our high dollar services are the ones we always took an appointment. We always took a deposit on. So if you were booking online, first of all, you had to pay a $25 deposit to book online. Okay. That was just part of the online booking, because if you do online booking, when people have that ability to go online and book, they're more likely to cancel on you. Okay. It's just facts. It just happens. People are going to cancel on you. They're going to maneuver their appointments. They're going to cancel last minute. It still happens to this day. Okay. Even to me, behind the chair of 23 years, here I am. People today just canceled on me that have appointments tomorrow. It happens. It's going to happen. So whether you decide to start taking the deposit and you have late changes, which is canceling 24 hours, like right at the last minute, or they're canceling 24 hours before, how much of that deposit are you going to give back? So that's part of your cancellation policy as well. And then making sure that so there's different ways that you can take this prepayment. I lost track, and I'm so sorry. we're getting back on track here. So taking prepayment or payment all the time. So ways to do this is, one, you can do a deposit. You can do a booking fee, which what I was saying online, we did $25. It was a booking fee, but it went towards your service. When you were done, when you checked out, that $25 came off. Or you can take a prepayment. A lot of people, so this isn't as popular when you're taking payments anymore. A lot of people used to keep cards on file to say, and some people still do it, which is fine. It is an option. However, I do believe that instead of keeping a card on file and you saying, if you no-show or cancel within 24 hours, the card on file will be charged whatever the amount is, versus saying, to book your appointment, I need to book your appointment, it is going to be a $50 deposit, and that $50 will come off the day that your service is provided. Should you no-show, should you cancel within 48 hours, the deposit is refundable. Should you cancel within 24 hours, you get 20, you get to make these policies is the great thing. You can get 25% back, 50% back. Should you cancel the day of or no show, it's 100% non-refundable. And then that covers your stylist, that covers yourself, that covers whatever it might be. But that is you taking the power back and making sure that you are going to get your revenue for the time that you have allotted for them. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, please just send me questions in the chat, through my email. However you want to communicate with me, please send me the messages and I will make sure that you understand this 100%, because I know that asking people for money up front can be very disturbing. It can be very hard. It can be something that you might not want to do, but it will definitely help you with your cancellations and your no-shows. Okay, the other thing that you really need to do as well is send out reminders. Make sure that you're reminding, whether your delivery is through email, whether it's through text message, whether it's through WhatsApp, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you're sending out those reminder messages, you guys, because that is going to help with making sure that you are getting those reminders out so they're not forgetting, because that happens. People forget. Same thing happens with me. Like sometimes I'll forget about an appointment, but being a service provider, I always know that if I forget about something or I have to cancel last minute, I'm going to pay for that service. I'm going to be like, I'm so sorry I can't make it today, but I'm going to pay for my service because I would not want that to happen to me as well. And then another thing you want to do is make sure that your software that you're using is doing the work for you. You don't need to chase these people down. You can use an online booking system like I was saying we used in the salons and let them charge the card to keep on file for you. Let the software do the confirmation text messages and emails and do the confirmations for you. Like set up reminders, different things. Okay. So let your software do the work for you is also really important. And then make sure you're practicing your script. So I have samples for you guys. Like I said, scripts allow you to speed things up. Okay. That's something that if you have a very clear and precise script, that is going to help make your life easier, and it helps you provide a consistent and confident, experience for all of your clients. So if you know what your script is for taking a deposit in advance, if you know when someone cancels at the last minute, if you know what your script is for when someone complains or someone no-shows you, like having the same script memorized and knowing that you are confident in what you are saying, even if somebody says, well, I'm just going to take my services elsewhere. Okay. Like having a script to come back for that is something that is really important. And then also like every time you send a message, whatever it might be, like I was saying earlier, you want to make sure that your cancellation policy is everywhere. So sending that script out everywhere, that's also super important. So just to kind of to summarize what we went through today, we went through the 3 phases of revenue, how to crush your cancellations by preventing it. Okay. And that is going to be working with your ideal clients, preparing for it. So your cancellation policies, putting that all in place, and then taking the power back. Okay. So making sure that you guys are doing those 3 things. If you guys have any more questions, don't ever hesitate to reach out to me and ask. But as always, I'm going to leave you guys today like I leave you every single day, or every single podcast, I should say. And that is to go out and make somebody else's life, be a day maker for somebody else today. But I will chat with you guys all soon.